you doing? Thanks so much for being here. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video lesson, we are going to be talking about ear training, how to play guitar by ear, how to hear the notes, how to recognize the scales, things like that, okay? So if that's something you've been working on, kind of figuring about that, stick around and I'll show you a few tips, all right? Alright, now when it comes to learning how to play guitar by ear, it's a study of the fretboard, study of the notes, okay? And the notes can all be taken into intervals. So what you want to do is you want to study the intervals. And what I would recommend starting off is in the beginning with the notes, as far as study some basic music theory, like your chromatic scale and your major scale. I would start with those, okay? So if you're not too sure what that is, let me tell you what that is. So your chromatic scale is every note that's in the musical alphabet, okay? So let's just say we started here on G, okay? This is a G note, it's on the 3rd fret, 6th string, and it would be every single note. Okay, G, G sharp A, A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E, F, F sharp G. So from G all the way to G, that's your chromatic scale, okay? Now out of that, that's like the foundation of music. That's what everybody's music is taken out of, is that, all right? Now the second thing is you want to look at the major scale, okay? The major scale, because everything is taken out of that. All your chords, your minors, your diminished, your augmenteds, all that stuff is taken out of the major scale. So you want to master that, okay? So let's just say for sake of argument we're in G again, okay? So we have those 12 notes we just mentioned, right? Now we're going to take 8 notes out of those 12 to make the major scale. And that's that do, re, mi, that. So out of those 12 notes, we took G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G to make that do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, and the distance between your notes is your intervals. Okay, so that's what you want to master, is those intervals. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would study, is that. Make sure you know that. Okay, very, very important. I would recognize knowing it on. I would I would recommend you learning it on all 6 strings. Okay, all right. So number 2. Now that you know that, once you get that down, learn to hum with the scale, okay? Because it's going to help the vibration in your body to match the sound of the guitar, because the guitar is based on vibration, okay? So for instance, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, it's going to help you to hear that and match that, and when you hear it, you'll be able to recognize it better, okay? And it does take some time, so just take some time with it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so that's the second thing there, is hum. You could either sing with it or you could hum with it. Okay, you can also do it on this string, but it's a little bit higher up, you know. So, you know, it's a little bit higher up to do that. But you could also do it here on the D string, okay, because your G is also right here on the 5th fret of the D string, 4th string right here. So you can do it here. And there's a simple formula to the major scale, okay? It's a whole step, half step formula that if you learn that, you can find the major scale anywhere on the fretboard, okay? And I made a video of this, so I'll leave some links below for that kind of stuff. But you want to learn that, okay? Learn those intervals, master those intervals, and then once you know them, then you can hum along with them. Like when I said, like when you're playing that G, okay? Because that's going to give you the connection between the vibration in your body as opposed to the vibration in the strings, okay? Very, very important for ear training, all right? Now, the next thing that I would highly recommend is sing, okay? I know a lot of people don't like to sing. I met a lot of guitar players who don't like to sing. That's fine, but singing really helps train your ear. It really does. Okay, it helps you to recognize chords and things like that, you know, when you hear them and stuff. Plus, it just gets you in tune with the instrument. I've heard a lot of guys tell me when they're playing, they zone out sometimes when they're just playing rhythm and stuff, you know. And I understand that because sometimes with rhythm, it just repeats itself. So it's kind of easy to zone out. It's kind of easy to, a thought enters into your head and then you kind of zone out a little bit. So singing is really good because it helps you to stay focused, okay? Because now your brain is trying to do, you know, not only the guitar, but it's also trying to sing and remember the words and speak the words, sing the words, I guess you could say. So you're doing multiple things, and when that happens, you got to focus more, okay? And this really helps out your ear, okay? So I would highly recommend sing, okay? Start out with just humming and sing by yourself. You don't need to worry about it. I remember I was at one of my students' house one time, and her mom had a piano in the room, and it said, there was a plaque on the wall. It said kind of interesting. It said, "Sing like there's nobody's listening." Okay, that's good advice. You know, just sing. If you just get used to singing, I'm telling you, it's going to make a huge difference. It's going to really help you out with your ear training. Okay, all right. Now, next thing you want to do that I would recommend is recognize your common chord progressions. Okay. Learn those common chord progressions because they're utilized in a lot of songs, and this helps your ear as well, okay? Like for instance, the most common chord progression used, like in rock guitar, is your 1-4-5 progression, okay? Now what I mean by that, let's look at the G major scale again. So we have our G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Now if we were to give each one of those a number value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that means our 1 would be a G, like a G. G chord would be the 1, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the C, G, A, B, C, so that's the 4. And then we have the 5, which would be right here, the D, okay? So those 3 chords. Now what's great about the guitar is a lot of the notes and stuff line up in patterns, okay? And once you learn a pattern in a key, it'll apply to all the other keys as well. So it's not really that difficult to transpose into other keys once you learn these couple little tricks of the trade, all right? Now, for instance, if you have a 1 here, your 4 is going to be right underneath it, okay? And then your 5 is going to be 2 frets up. So these chords right here, your G, your C is right here, and your D is right here, okay? If you were playing in any other key, they would be located in the same area of that key as well. Like for instance, if you're playing in the key of B, your 4 is going to be right underneath it, okay? You don't even have to go up, you know, you don't have to even do this kind of stuff to figure out where it's at. It's right underneath the 1. The 4 is always going to be located right underneath the 1 in any key on the fretboard, okay? It doesn't matter if you're playing in G or F or A or C or D or E. The 1 is always going to be located right below it. Okay, so if you know that, it's going to be easy to find it, easy to get to. And then your 5 is always going to be 2 frets up, okay? And that's a very common chord progression. You got tons of songs. If you go back to listen to like rock and roll in the 50s, tons of songs that have that chord progression. It's not even just that. I mean, almost all that music there is written in those with that 1-4-5, okay? But there's also other progressions too, okay? But master that, all right? Master those chord progressions because you'll start to recognize them in songs. You'll say, oh, this song's got that 1-4-5 or that 1-6-4-5 or whatnot, you know, 1-6-2-7 or, you know, whatever it is, okay? But you're going to see this stuff, and it's all about the notes, the interval of the notes, okay? That's what it is, all the interval of the notes. And the interval, once again, is the distance between 2 frets, all right? So study your major, or start off with your chromatic scale. Get your major scale down. Learn to hum, or you know, with the notes. Another great idea is okay, you know, do, re, mi, right? Go do, re, mi, and then try to find that other note before, and then try to match it with the guitar. You see what I mean? So that your voice is matching the guitar, and because that's really what it's all about, is matching those notes. Okay, work on that. Work on that. Work on singing, work on recognizing common chord progressions, and I guarantee you'll have a really nice start to learning how to develop your ear to hear and be able to play songs by ear. All right, so there we have it, a few tricks of the trade of how to get your guitar to be able to get your ear trained to play guitar by ear, okay? Now there's a lot more tricks to the trade as well. One of the things that I forgot to mention in the lesson, well, I'll mention here, that's a really good idea too, is to tune your guitar by ear, okay? Learn to tune your guitar by ear. And a great way of starting out doing this is get like a tuning fork or a pitch pipe. These are common ways of tuning the guitar. They really help you to develop your ear, okay? If you get the way a tuning fork works is it's tuned to a certain pitch, you hit it, the pitch rings, and you match your string to that pitch, and then you tune the rest of the guitar to that pitch. It's usually concert pitch, which is 440. Another great thing is a pitch pipe, okay? A pitch pipe has all 6, pitch for all 6 strings. So you blow into I don't have one here, but you blow into it and it shows a certain pitch, and then you match your string to that pitch, okay? Nowadays with electronic tuners and everything being digital, those aren't really used so much for guitar, but a long time ago that's how they did it. But that's a great way, another great tool, an exercise to help develop your ear as well, okay? So I would highly recommend you do that. I'll leave some links below in the description box so that way you can check that out. If you want to get yourself a tuning fork or a pitch pipe or anything like that, I would highly recommend doing those kind of things, okay? And if you do those and you do them on a daily basis, ear training doesn't come like overnight. It just doesn't, all right? It's very, very hard to train the ear. You have to work on it daily, work on it every day. But if you work on these things, you study your fretboard, okay? You know these notes, you know where they're at. You study the intervals, you study that stuff, and you got to get your voice involved, okay? It really, really helps a lot, okay? At least hum. If you could sing, I would highly recommend doing that. That's going to really help a lot, okay? But I know a lot of players, great players are out there that don't sing, and that's okay too. But humming really helps a lot too. And you can see this happens a lot with like blues players and stuff. So I would highly recommend try those out, study your notes, sing, hum the notes, and work with either a tuning fork or a pitch pipe. Learn to play tune your guitar by ear. All that stuff is going to really help develop your ear training, okay? So work on that. Keep practicing every day. Be sure to check out my website. I've got a lot of great lessons on there on all kinds of stuff that has to do with guitar. You can check out my books. I've got them on Amazon and both eBay. I'm saying, yeah, I have them on eBay too, but I mean in ebook and print format. And you can get them in my eBay store too as well. Well, if you get them there, I'll send you a personally signed copy to you from me, okay? And if you have any other things that have helped you with your ear training that I have forgotten in this lesson, leave them in the comments below, because that'll help other people, because that's what we're here for. We're here to share our knowledge and help people out and teach people so that they can, progress faster than it took us to do, all right? That's what's the great thing about, YouTube and everything today is we can help people to avoid mistakes that we made. So if there's something I forgot, leave it in the comment below, or if you have any questions about anything, maybe a video you want to see me make, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for future notifications, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. And keep practicing every day, and I'll see you at our next lesson.